Hello, and welcome to episode 168 of Checkpoint Chat. We're one away from a century and nice. That's that's all I got for that. My name is Alessandro Barbosa. I'm joined by Matthew Figuera.
That threw me so much. I was busy thinking when you pass over the conversation to me, I'll comment on this or that. You're like 100 and nice. I'm like, yes, nice.
What? It's
correct.
It's true. We'll be a century and nice years old.
You can't argue with facts.
Can't argue. Yeah, you can't argue with facts. That's just how numbers work. 69 is nice, and that whenever it crops up, it's the law. You have to say nice.
When's the last time you watched a cricket match, a test game? Because this would probably never happen in a normal one-day international, maybe. But when somebody scored 100 and nice.
116, I can't recall ever. I don't think my brain was tuned to be looking out for that at the time.
And then the commentators have to semi-censor out and say, oh yes, he scored 160 nice.
Everyone has to lift their feet in the stadium because now he's going to score a 6.
I know. My goodness.
I haven't watched cricket in so long.
It's been
cannot recall.
45 years. Yeah, I can't say I've watched in the last 5.
Isn't there some World Cup going on now? Like some T20 World
T20 is a good
Cup?
time though. I'm glad that, look, I don't watch cricket. Okay, but bad on me. I haven't watched for years. But when I remember growing up, it was just normal 50 over, one day international matches or whatever, or test matches, which you just leave on in the background because it takes 400 years for those games to play out. It's nice
like while you're cleaning
noise.
your house, you're just hearing the test match go on.
Oh, what a block. Oh, okay, cool.
What a
exciting.
block. Oh my God, there's a wicket. It's the first thing of action in 4 hours.
Wow, first run in 50 balls. Amazing. But then in the last, I don't know, 5, 10, whatever it is. I'm just using 5, 10 years for everything this episode. This is my measure of time.
I mean, it's what happens when you get old. Time becomes irrelevant.
Time blurs. But the rise of T20 matches, which you can actually sit down and watch and enjoy because the batting's far more aggressive, which makes it far more exciting.
It's like a 3-hour match.
These people
great.
are trying to clap some high scores, so they get risque.
They're trying to clap some high scores. Yeah. It's like the batting game in the Yakuza games. They're just trying to hit those sixes all the time.
My goodness. Yakuza, that's a series I need to get to. But yeah, cricket. I
haven't watched this T20 World Cup. I think the only thing I really know, the only time I really get updates is when I'm at gym and I'm walking on the treadmill and they have like the sports on the display and it's like, this is the semi-finals this weekend. I'm like, okay, well, South Africa's not there, so I guess we're out,
Yeah.
And I think the final is, well, today when we're recording, I think it's Australia and New Zealand. So cool. Good luck to Australasia.
Crikey,
yeah.
Crocs in the Billabong.
Indeed. Who's going to win the Great Barrier Reef? I don't know. I was thinking of Australian things.
To us, it's just a cricket match. To them, it's a war for land.
It is. If New Zealand wins, they get half of Australia. That's just the law. That's how it works.
If Australia wins, they get Lord of the Rings, the movies.
Oh my goodness. Those are some high stakes. They have to give out Hobbit, the Shire to Australia.
Hand it over.
Yes,
we finally get the rights to the new Amazon show because it's being filmed there. Well, I don't know where the hell that show is being filmed.
I wouldn't be shocked if it's there because, imagine trying to film the Lord of the Rings somewhere else, and make it look the same. It's just not possible.
Impossible. Yeah,
I'm actually keen for that series. I think it could be I have no idea what it will be about because it's thousands of years prior to the movies. So
yeah, it's just got some. You'll probably recognize the Shire.
And maybe the elves, because those elves just never age.
What is Legolas's actor's name? Orlando
Bloom.
He'll probably still be there.
And Hugo Weaving, the king of the elves dude, yeah.
He's taking a break from being Agent Smith once more to go be with his elf people.
Do you know he's not going to be in the new Matrix?
Which is so weird.
That is like apparently the only reason is because of scheduling conflicts. Like, to me, you then delay your movie to make sure he's there. Like, I just don't understand the logic.
The Matrix without Hugo Weaving is like the Matrix without Keanu Reeves.
I know. It just doesn't make sense. There's no Lawrence Fishburne either. Just what are we doing? What are we even doing?
What is life? When does that movie launch? Is it this year or next year?
It's like
so next month.
In a month, yeah.
Sure. Around the corner.
Do you think Keanu Reeves will shave his head by the end of the movie?
Why, is he going to be the new Morpheus?
Well, no, but I mean, like, Neo never had hair.
Oh,
and
true.
This one, he's just got his John Wick locks, you know.
Oh, yeah, he's got those long, luscious
that
locks.
That long hair.
Maybe.
It's probably in his contract, like, I cannot cut this hair because I'm filming John Wick 57.
John Wick 57's around the corner. Every movie, the hair has to get longer to show the passage of time. Therefore,
by the time he gets to John Wick 69, it's just down to his feet, you know.
And the movie's subhead is just nice.
Yeah. John Wick, this time he's nice.
Oh, such children. It's the best.
I'd watch John Wick till the day I die. Those movies are good. I mean, they've become progressively worse. Like what was the most recent one? The third or the fourth one? I think it's the third, yeah. Wasn't that fantastic, but
boo.
Yeah. They're making a fourth one, so
I mean, if it makes money, then
they should give him a new dog every movie. Like every movie he adopts a new breed of dog.
Just lean into the bullshit, and the whole premise of every movie is something happens to his dog and he says, "You sons of bitches, I'm gonna get my revenge."
And I mean, he has this dog now, this like pit bull that he just keeps like walking around with him. But like, imagine him, this like highly trained assassin, and he's got like a Dachshund next to him. Just this really dexterous sausage dog that really can't kill anything.
Writers of John Wick, if you're looking for a premise for John Wick Nice edition, you just got it.
Yep.
You need the baby
sausage dog. Yeah. Or you do the Spider-Man Miles Morales thing and you give him a backpack which has like a chihuahua in it.
Oh my
So
goodness.
there's always the chihuahua like peeking out of the bag while he's like
swinging around
down people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, hire me. I have all these great ideas.
How's Hollywood not hired either of us?
I know. I mean, we've just got the best ideas here. We're putting them out for free on a podcast. You know, it's
the gaming podcast.
You know, we should tokenize our ideas as NFTs and sell them to Hollywood. That's the big brain move.
I've loved the meme going around this week. You know, bleeding into those old campaigns of like, you wouldn't steal a car. you wouldn't, do this, whatever.
You wouldn't right-click.
You wouldn't right-click, save an NFT. It's so dumb, but I love it.
Those I guess those like disclaimers in front of DVDs were always just so funny because like when someone ripped a DVD, it would rip that onto the DVD as well, which is just the most. But it was all I mean, I think the thing that killed me the most was the main character in that advert was like a girl in a room downloading a DVD on a PC, but that website she had it from looked so fucking ratchet. It just looked like like it was coming to like come out of her screen and kill her.
Oh
it
my
was
goodness.
Just edgy black lines and she's just like clicks cancel and picks up her bag and walks out the room. It's like, what the fuck?
What's going on here?
How do you think people do this? Like
that's how I rip DVDs. I just downloaded a movie, hit right click and saved it like an NFT.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh wait, I lie. I used to watch it on YouTube and then right click save.
That's the big brain move right there.
Yeah,
my goodness. I mean, how many of us, like when we used to have CD drives in our PCs, what a time to be alive. You'd always buy the one that was writable because you knew what you were going to be doing. You were writing those discs. You were writing MP3s to CDs for your cars.
Oh my God, looking back now, what a waste of time. All those hours upon hours ripping MP3s and then burning them to disk. And
yep.
Yeah, the number of discs lying around. When my mom packed up a house, like, what do you want to do with these discs? I was like, I think
really
we can
fuck all.
just,
Yeah. Really nothing.
Throw
like
them.
absolutely
I don't know.
nothing. It's
Yeah.
funny though, because it used to be a commodity. Well, I know at school, like someone
Oh,
would
it
buy a
was,
new
yeah.
music CD and everyone was like, oh shit, can I take this home to rip it onto
Yeah.
my fucking iTunes account so I can put it on my Gen 1 iPod?
Oh my goodness.
Or the best was transferring music using Bluetooth between phones. Some
that
dude
was
would
the
get the new
future.
banger tune, and it would be like everyone was like hogging the Bluetooth to and it would take like minutes to transfer this thing that was like maybe 5 megs.
Can I tell you that to me is honestly, it feels like the last big revolution of phones. I know lots has happened since then, but every year it's like, here's a new iPhone. It's like, yeah, it's got a better processor, more memory, blah, blah, blah. Cool. But when Bluetooth came out, that was mind blowing. Like, whoa, I can send stuff wirelessly to get us. This is the future.
It was wild. it was real. And then also just like phones having a bit of storage, so you could store like 10 songs on your phone.
10 songs.
Like, imploded or something like that.
You're like, damn, only space for 10. Who am I going to delete? Don't worry, Eminem. You safe. I'll never delete you.
I'll never get rid of Lose It. Never.
Yeah, but phones since then, phones are cool, but there hasn't been a significant like, wow, I can't believe they finally made phones do this.
Now it's just like the new iPhone has a terabyte of storage.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's like also you can stream all your music, so who the fuck cares?
Wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
Eminem forever.
Does Apple still make iPods? Like, I'm curious.
No, I don't think they do.
Because
I
know for the longest time they continued making the iPod Touch or the iPod Nano or something like that. But I haven't seen them speak about iPod in like years.
You can take this to the bank, but I believe in the near future, iPods will make a comeback as a retro. Yeah. Here's we're bringing back the new iPod, whatever, and it only plays music, and you can use it for other things as well. You just can't make calls with it. In fact,
it's just like all the shit that happens with vinyls nowadays. It's the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The iPods will make a comeback.
Well, I'm looking at Apple's website now, and there's no iPod at the top. So
rip. Have a moment of silence for.
Let me see iPod iStore. Let's see if there's anything. Oh, okay. Well, the iStore locally still has a listing for the iPod Touch, and you can buy one for 4,000 Rand. Are they fucking crazy?
Sure. You can't put a price on vintage.
No, sorry, not 4,000 Rand. 4,000 Rand is only for the 32 gig option, which is sold out. And the next option is 128 gig, and that is 6,500 Rand.
Sure. Well, if you do the maths, you could either buy 4 32 gig ones at 16,000 Rand or.
Nah, fam, these people are.
Technology. My goodness.
This is all sorts of broken.
Yeah. No, it isn't broken.
You can get it in real shockingly pink. Pretty nice, yeah. I'd buy that, yeah.
Do it.
You know what else I'd buy? Video games.
Wow. Amazing.
I saw your segue and I was like, I need a segue elsewhere.
Wow, my segue was great. It's like,
it was great, but my brain didn't pick it up in time, and then I couldn't go back to it.
You were just wowed by the MP3s. Like, wow. iPods. Amazing.
My goodness.
Video
games. Yeah, man, there are so many coming out now. I mean, just this week, this sounds like complaining, but it's also like I can't catch up. Like just this week, we got code for Shin Megami Tensei 5, which I'm actually really keen to play, considering I enjoyed the hell out of Persona and have never tried Shin Megami Tensei. And then we got the Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition remake stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, thanks to Nintendo for supplying both, because I actually didn't think we'd get either. Because they're not Nintendo games, and yet we got...
When I got the GTA one, I just thought, what a long way Nintendo's come.
Yeah. GTA collection.
Nintendo is like very family friendly, all safe games, no violence, whatever. And I'm like, I've just received code for the GTA trilogy, which at the time, very controversial, highly frowned upon.
Very, at the time.
I was like, I get to relive that.
I guess we should say that both those games are out now, and they're both on Nintendo Switch. But we only got the code on Friday. I haven't had a chance to play either of them.
I briefly dabbled with GTA 3. And I was just amazed.
What's that guy's name? Claude, the main character.
I don't know, because I stand to be corrected. I think in Vice City is when they actually give the protagonist a voice. From Vice City onward.
In 3 he doesn't talk.
GTA 3 he's just silent. It's very weird. The dude's like, "Hey man,
Freeman.
Here's your mission. Go do this." Your guy just looks like,
"Oh my god, that is."
You
see, I've never played 3, so I had no idea. That sounds ridiculous. Wow. Okay.
Yep, but we've been playing.
But I mean,
some other stuff.
Which came out first, San Andreas or Vice City?
Vice City.
Really? I always thought it was the other way around.
No,
okay.
So San Andreas was like, I think revolutionary is a good word, because despite it being the same GTA formula, that's the one where you could go to gym, you could go order fast food, stuff like that, which was like, I don't know, unheard of at the time. And San Andreas was San Andreas was massive as well. And like, I think Vice City was relatively big, but the map on GTA 3 is teeny tiny. It's almost laughable how small it is, compared to a modern day open world game. But back then it was incredible. It's like, whoa.
This is wild. Okay, so GTA 3 came out in 2001. Vice City came out a year later, 2002. San Andreas came out 2004.
Even more.
GTA 4 came out 2008.
Many years later.
Then GTA 5 2013. So the gaps between them they've just become
grown,
larger and larger and larger.
I think
we didn't have a new one last gen.
Well, we've got a new one coming out this gen, GTA 5. I don't know if you've heard of it before.
Oh no, never. That's news to me, man.
But what's the most incredible thing about those GTAs is that, first of all, they make me feel old. Second of all, they all came out on the PS2, and it's funny how you forget. The PS2 was a powerful little console. I mean, it has incredible games like God of War, Shadow of the Colossus, all these huge, mind-blowing games back then. And
Crash
Bandicoots. I mean, that launched on the PS1, so that doesn't count. But
they had the bad Crash Bandicoots on the PS2.
I don't know. In my head, I always think, PS3 is where things really kicked off. That's where we got all the open world games. It's like, no, GTA existed on the PS2, and it's unreal to think that that's where open world games really started.
It was a great time. I mean, I think everyone has a story of like going to a friend's house and like dicking around in GTA. I mean, that's my exposure to GTA.
Yeah.
I never really played those stories. It was like you had like a flip file of cheats that someone had printed out, and you just like spawning fucking tanks everywhere, or
driving
motorbike
everything,
and driving around. That's what those games are. They're sandbox nonsense. So it's great.
So I'm looking forward to dabbling in my childhood with the GTA trilogy on Switch.
Hopefully they patch them a little bit, because they seem a bit not great at the time.
More on that on news later.
What good games have you been playing during this week?
Okay, we're going to swap here. I thought we were going to talk about the other one first, but let's talk about...
No, I want to hear about good games first.
Oh, wow. Setting the precedent,
setting the
there.
tone for later, yes.
So I've been playing a little indie game which came out, I think, about a week or so ago, called Unpacking, which I've just flipped on some footage now. If you've never heard of Unpacking, it's exactly what the game name implies. It's a game about opening up boxes and unpacking them and moving their contents into a living space.
Love it.
It's interesting because when the trailer for this game was shown or revealed, I don't know, popped onto my radar like a month ago, maybe, whatever. I watched it and thought, this is cool. This is just a very cool looking pixel style game about literally unpacking boxes. It's therapy. Because you wouldn't want to do that in real life, but in a game, now we're talking.
Unpacking in real life fucking
Oh no,
sucks.
worst. Yeah, let me tell you, this game is nothing like real life. It's enjoyable. But what I didn't expect really is that this game is actually a very clever vehicle for telling a story, because you're not just unpacking boxes in random houses. You're following the story of a female character from childhood through to adulthood, and obviously all the moves she makes in her lives. From, the first level is essentially you can kind of assume that their first place was she was sharing a room with a sibling, and then now where the game kicks off, it's her family moving into a new house, and she's got her own room, because when you finish a level, you get a caption saying like "finally in my own room" or something like that.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So the game's very clever on that front, in that it tells a whole story just through the items and things you're unpacking, and I don't know, it's just incredible, because it blew me away. It's not something I expected, honestly, from the simple act of unpacking boxes. But you start to see things throughout the level. So, for example, the first level is obviously childhood. You move through her life to, she's at varsity, she's studying, and you start seeing, for example, items being carried over through the years. So it's like, oh, I'm unpacking this plushie. That's something she had from childhood. Then the next level, it's like, oh, okay, she's obviously kept this, but now there's new stuff. And it's just a very clever way of conveying a story without actually saying anything. There's a lot you can infer from the stuff someone owns.
So you can kind of tell what things are special because
exactly
it like persists between packs. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and it's cool because every level starts off with it just gives you the year, so more or less how much time has passed. It's like, oh, okay, they lived in this house for the last 4 years. They've now moved into a digs where they're sharing space with someone else. So if you're watching the video feed, this level, it's, I suppose, like a varsity level. I've just finished varsity and I'm now sharing space with other people, which is why
I can tell so much just about you by how you're packing certain things. Like you've put the toenail clipper in the shower, which I found very strange.
Where do you keep your toenail clipper?
In a cupboard.
Oh no, it's got to go in the shower, man. What are you talking about?
Interesting. Okay. And I see your go-to tactic is putting everything on the floor, getting the box away, and then sorting shit out. Yeah. I guess I need to know why there's a drain in the middle of this bathroom though.
Because I'm assuming that floor gets very wet.
They're just expecting it to like flood.
Yeah. But it's interesting you said, because I watched Lenska. She also played the whole game from beginning to end, loved it. And yeah, we had different approaches where I was very quick to just empty the boxes so I could see what to put where she would unpack the box and put things one at a time. And when I asked
where did she put the toenail clipper?
Probably in the shower as well.
Fuck's sake.
But when I asked her, because I was like, why don't you put things on the floor? Because it's easier to, then sort stuff. She said, no, she hates adding the extra step. It's just quicker to put things on the shelf directly. I was like, okay, that's fair.
Okay, yeah.
But
I can see so you can zoom into the little rooms that you're in.
Exactly,
and Is it very finicky, like placing small items?
No, so well, that's what I was going to get to, is that, story aside, very clever. The way the game works, it's designed so well that I was kind of worried that with games like this, there are lots of, I suppose, instances or potential opportunities where things can go wrong or be irritating. Like, I want to put this item on here. Oh, it doesn't fit. The game hasn't thought about me putting this item on the surface. But that's not the case at all. It feels like the devs have really put a lot of time into making sure that the game feels good. Things slot into place perfectly. So if you're looking now, for example, I'm packing a drawer, but it just clicks into obviously an invisible grid of sorts, but it's done in a way that feels seamless and natural. Like that drawer's packed now, it looks how it would look in real life. It's not a thing of, damn, I couldn't fit this box in. They didn't think about this. Exactly. But they legitimately, they've put a lot of effort into making sure that things, there's thought given into. So if you're unpacking a room, for example, you can see there's been some thinking or some thoughts put into, like, okay, we're going to give the player, for example, I don't know, like 4 photo frames, and we'll put this table here, which is where the photo frames should technically go. Like, they would fit so nicely there, but the player doesn't have to. They could put them on another counter, or just you could put them in another room if you really wanted to. There's been a lot of thought put into that, and it's just, I don't know. I was honestly blown away by this game because it, like I said, it just caught me off guard. It's far more than just a game about, unpacking boxes. For all intents and purposes, the loop is you're unpacking boxes, but just the joy you get from not only packing something neatly or whatever, but from just realizing, oh, this character is a budding graphic designer, because I can see they've got a whole lot of, as a kid, they've already had, for example, crayons, whatever. Now they're an adult. They've got a drawing tablet. They've gone and pursued this as a career. You just infer things like that. And I just can't stress enough. It's just such a smart idea. I would never have thought a game like this could tell a story. Because on paper you'd never think that. It's just yeah.
And it doesn't get because I mean each level, for lack of a better word, is a new place that you just need to unpack and move into. That never gets tiresome.
No.
Okay.
I guess look, it's funny because when you move into the bigger places, so I'm going to go with this level, it's a shared space. There's a lot of just random stuff everywhere, and you can't move your roommate stuff because obviously it's their stuff. So you kind of have to fit into their space. And initially it seems overwhelming, like, oh my God, if you have any OCD tendencies or messes upset you might be like, oh my God, I can't do this. But it's funny because just the whole act of opening up the boxes and getting it done, it feels good. Like it is really, there's definitely a zen aspect to this game of there's a lot going on, but when you get through it, it's just, what a sense of, like I did it. I made it work. It's great.
But that's also quite clever because it's like in real life, if you're living with a roommate, you have to kind of like concede, or not concede, like you are sharing that space. So you have to make concessions on where you can put things. So
it's funny because it almost gives the game it makes it feel like a puzzle. It's got a puzzle spin on it. But it's not this thing of, okay, you're moving into the shared space. There's only a limited amount of tiles and things have to go into a specific place, else you're not going to finish the level. Because finishing a level is making sure all the boxes are empty and that everything's in a place. So there are limitations. You can't leave a pan on the floor and be like, I've done it. I've unpacked it.
You've got a toaster on the floor.
Yeah.
You've got everything. Yeah.
No, the game will tell you, no, it'll highlight it and this needs to go into a cupboard or onto a space, whatever. But there is almost like a mini puzzle aspect. And I say puzzle very loosely because ultimately you can, if there's an open counter, you can put anything you want there, or if there's an open shelf. But there is a puzzle aspect to the game of trying to make things work in a room, or, moving things into other rooms because they make more sense there, or there's just more space in that room.
Okay.
Yeah, but the game's super short. I think it's 7 or 8 levels. They take, the first ones when you're managing one room are very quick, but towards the end you are unpacking a whole household. So they're anywhere from 10 minutes to like 45 minutes, maybe an hour, I'd say. And the whole playthrough is 3 to 4 hours. So it's really bite-sized. And I can't stress enough. It's honestly,
you could play like one move a day or something.
Yeah, you could do it in bite-sized chunks. You could do it in one sitting. And it's worth playing. It really, really is. I can't stress enough, more than just, you're not just you are just unpacking boxes, but it's more than just unpacking boxes.
I really love this art. Like
the art style.
It's like very detailed pixel art. Like I really, really
I can't tell you the detail on the the game itself, but on the sound design as well. I mean, you might have seen some tweets going around. There's one, I love this one tweet where the person's literally moving like a spray bottle. So every time you pick up an item, it makes a noise. Every time you put it down, it makes a noise. Almost reminiscent of if I've got a glass bottle and I put it down on this counter, it's going to make this noise. There was a tweet going around with somebody moving a spray bottle just onto different surfaces. So like putting it on a tiled floor, putting it on a counter, and every time there was a different noise. Like that's the level of detail this teeny tiny little studio from Australia, if I'm not mistaken, has gone into with this game. It's incredible. Like what a charming indie game that deserves all the praise it gets. Like I
think the tweet said there were 14,000 Foley like sound effects recorded in this game. Like that's an immense amount of
for
work.
for eight, I think it's 7 or 8 levels. It's insane.
Oh my god, is that a GameCube?
It's a GameCube.
Oh my goodness.
Turns out your character's a gamer because let me tell you, these consoles persist throughout.
What is that other
game.
console there? That looks like an Xbox.
I think it's just a decoder. It might be a PS2 actually. Looking at it now, or a decoder.
Like black controllers there. So
I think looking at it now, it might be a PS2. I don't know.
You know, it looks like an Xbox One, like the VCR Xbox One. But then why would that be in the same age as a CD player and a GameCube? So that
your character's a bit of a collector. There's a 3DS or ADS that persists for a number of moves. Let me tell you.
Okay.
And that always went onto the bedside table where it belongs for when I want a game before I sleep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And this is on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass. I think, it's on Game Pass, but the game itself is available on every other platform from Switch. I think it's on PlayStation as well. I could be wrong.
Let me double check.
It's not expensive either. I think on Switch, I do not know the price on Switch, but I think on Steam it's super cheap. It's like 140 Rand, if that. Give or take a few.
Is on Xbox One, Switch, Mac. No, it's not on PlayStation.
Not on PlayStation, okay.
Yeah, so it's Xbox,
take it back.
Switch, and PC essentially. So I guess that's why it's on Game Pass. Maybe it's a exclusive launch on Game Pass.
Yeah,
that's cool. And it's on Game Pass on PC as well, correct?
Yeah, I played this on PC. So look,
this looks like a mouse game.
It's a mouse game, but I have seen. I mean, I follow the accounts on Twitter now. They have shown some clips of how the game works with a controller, and it works. So don't let that dissuade you if you do not have a PC. Play this game. It's real good.
I'm pretty sure this will run on kind of anything.
Anything, yeah. It's super heartwarming. Just a good time, and the music as well. It's great. So yeah. You should play it.
I'm keen to give it a go. It looks like a really nice Zen experience. I want to see if I can get Shani into it because she's, we were talking yesterday actually about it. She's got the typical millennial gaming brain where it's like she's been like won over by instant gratification mobile games. So that's why I think she struggles when I try to get her to play something on Switch, because as soon as there's like a point of friction, like a puzzle that she can't solve or whatever, she's like her brain is just like bouncing off of it. Yeah. So I don't know if this will scratch.
I think she will. I mean, it's funny. I was playing this one morning before work, and Lenska laughed. She's like, "Oh my god, you playing that?" Because I showed her the trailer weeks ago. I was just like, "Look at this indie game. It looks like a good time." And then she starts work before I do, and she looked over. And she says, "Oh, you laugh." Says, "Oh, you playing that unpacking game?" I said, "Yeah, it's really good." So I finished my level, then I passed the mouse to her, and I said, "Here, play it." And she said, "I should not be doing this." Played for a couple of minutes, went back to work that evening. She's like, "Can I play that unpacking game?" I was like, "Yeah, you can."
I knew it was coming.
You just have to, you've just got to tease with a little introduction. And she loved it. She played it in like two evenings of an hour and a half each, if that. So yeah, it's a good time unpacking. What a surprise little indie hit. 2021, the year of surprises.
Yeah, really, especially in the indie scene, really just coming out swinging. So, yeah, that's great. Cool. So the other game that both of us have kind of been playing,
we weird enough stopped in the exact same spot in this game.
Yeah,
have not finished it, but we are both playing Call of Duty Vanguard. Let me get the footage up here.
So, if you haven't been keeping up with this year's installation of Call of Duty, this is Sledgehammer Games' turn. And their previous one was Call of Duty World War II, and they've stuck with that setting on this one. It is a World War II story, but it is very, I would say, very Hollywood World War II. It follows a band of like six heroes that are basically trying to find this treasure trove of Nazi information in the dying days of the war, and it's like, yeah, this squad of 6 can take out a whole army type of thing. Really, it's not nonsense, but this isn't like the video game World War II biopic that previous entries have been, which is fine. And most of the story is told in flashbacks. So essentially your platoon of pals get caught fairly early in the game, and then you kind of get treated to little vignettes that introduce you to each character and their specialization. So you've got like a Russian sniper, you've got a sergeant from England, you've got an American pilot, you've got an Australian soldier, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't reached that part of the game yet.
Yeah, so you get treated to all these different missions in different parts of the world, depending on where they came from in the war, and each of them has like a sort of tone or special sort of gameplay twist to them. So the American pilot, obviously you playing a pilot mission. When you play as the British sergeant, you are leading a platoon, so you get to command.
Yeah.
I say command with real air quotes in there, command troops. You're basically just pressing a button when prompted
to do stuff. Yeah.
When you're playing as the Russian sniper, you playing in Stalingrad just when it's invaded, and like seeing her like origins of becoming this crack sniper, and also like playing through more stealth focused sections. So there's that stuff going on. I don't know. I think it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Like I don't have any strong feelings either way towards this game. And it just feels like I'm going through the motions when playing it. I don't really feel engaged or like riveted by the story in any real way.
Well, it's interesting because so for those of you watching the video edition of the podcast, we've got footage of the opening level. So when I started the game, I was hot on it purely because it looks really good.
Yeah,
I love this. So for those of you who aren't watching, it's a train level. We're busy moving along a train, and it is pouring, and all the surfaces are shiny, and it runs, at the signature COD, smooth butter frame rate here. I fall off the train because I missed on my jump. But it looks gorgeous. Like I was genuinely surprised that, Call of Duty games always look pretty, but this took me by surprise. Like, damn, it actually looks way better than I thought it would. Yeah, but the more I've played the game, the more I've sort of gone cold in it because, like you've said, it's not a traditional World War II story, which is weird because you think, World War II is always. I mean, look, we know it's been done to death. It's particularly in the last, I suppose, when shooters really sort of found their footing. With Call of Duty 1 and Medal of Honor, those sort of games. And then, people got a bit tired of the setting. But to go back to it now on a modern platform, I was quite keen to see, modern technology, what sort of scale of battles are we going to see? We've seen the storming of Normandy in the first Call of Duty. And that, I remember playing that as a teenager going like, oh my God, like this is, not only is this like a brutal, it's a slice of history of World War II, and it sort of gives you some sort of understanding of like, holy hell, like this is horrific.
Intense, yeah.
To go to a modern day game where it's you and your squad of 6 people who are just untouchable, it just feels weird. And obviously the more I play, the more I get into the story, I'm like, this is some proper bullshit. This is
it's real.
I've seen comparison, or people comment saying it feels very much like Wolfenstein. And
yes, actually,
if you don't know, Wolfenstein is an alternate take on World War II, where there's some proper bullshittery, and
there's Robot Hitler.
And sorry to say,
Hitler.
This game, like, there's no spoilers, there's no Robot Hitler from what I can tell, but this game does lead into almost that like silly, over the top side. I don't know. It
as soon as you introduce to the villain after this first level, he reminds me a lot of Christoph Waltz in Inglourious Basterds. He's like this cackling villain Nazi general that like that's not how it was. You know what I mean? This was a war between people, not this dude who's just, just like, he's like goading people while sitting in a chair in front of them and making fun of them in like weird, unrealistic ways. I don't know. It's strange in tone. It reminds me a lot of Inglourious Basterds in terms of the movie.
That's a great comparison, yeah.
It's like this crackshot squad that's taking out the Nazis completely. So
Erdverci.
Yeah.
I echo that sentiment. And look, if you're looking for, the typical Call of Duty experience, I'm not going to lie, you'll get that. There are some set pieces, which, they can be fun to play through. But if you're looking for like a gritty, historically accurate, make you feel the horrors of World War II game, you're not going to get that. You are going to get a modern, it's just a modernized Hollywood version of something that never happened in World War II. Like, I can't tell you that this train mission to go behind enemy lines to uncover Project Phoenix is based on any sort of historical fact, even loosely, if that. So I suppose going in knowing that, just set your expectations.
There are the typical Call of Duty set pieces, which are pretty great. Like the Normandy storming. Well, you're not storming Normandy. You're essentially preparing the beaches for the ships to come in. I thought that was quite nice and climatic. And the whole Stalingrad mission was pretty great. Playing as, what's her name, Petrov?
Petrov, the destruction in that level was really good. Like,
pretty intense.
Just for context, it's it starts off just before Germany invades. So you are walking through your hometown, and then fast forward 5 minutes, and buildings are falling over, and it is very intense.
It is, I think it's nice to see that like happen in real time, like the destruction of Stalingrad and stuff. But then at the same time, like, I loved Petrov's gameplay twist. She was more stealthy, and what I really liked was that when you were crouched, you moved very
faster,
quickly. Like you could like crawl into vents, and you could climb up walls and stuff. So it felt very dynamic for Call of Duty. But then they put you in like this little sandbox room at the end of the level, and they task you with saving your brother. And there's like literally maybe like 40, 50 enemies that you need to kill. Like there's no circumventing them. There's no like being clever. It's like, no, you just got to kill all of these people. And it just feels so ridiculous at that point. Like she firstly is only like a soldier now. She alludes to have been being trained,
wanting to like fight in the war, and
like being a pretty great shot and whatever. But like, there is no way in hell one person just wipes out like 50 people like that. And it became a bit annoying because it was just like I was running around the area. I maybe did like 5 or 6 laps around that entire map because there was just so many enemies, and it just felt monotonous. So but then it ends off pretty well with like you defending rebels escaping in Russia from like atop a building, and it's weird. It's like up and down. You have that level, which is pretty great, and then straight after that you're playing a like a dogfighting section in the Pacific, and it's awful.
It's not
probably
great.
one of the worst Call of Duty missions I've ever played, just because that plane feels horrible to control.
It's also just
objectives are not really defined.
It's just like up in the air. It's like, are you flying this plane? Just shoot things out the air.
Shoot things out the air till it's like, oh, now you go to this waypoint, and now you're doing another bombing run. Like it just feels
that
awful.
felt shoehorned in.
I really didn't enjoy that, and that left a really sour taste in my mouth. After like Stalingrad was pretty great, I thought it was quite good. So I don't know. It feels up and down in that respect, and we're still playing, but I just. Even when I was playing yesterday, Shani asked me, she's like, how is it? And I was like,
it's fun.
And she's like, why are you still playing it? I'm like, I actually don't know. Because it just feels like I'm going through the motions. I'm not enjoying it. And to be honest, I felt this way about Call of Duty Cold War, or Black Ops Cold War as well. Like that campaign really didn't hit me in a way. The last, Modern Warfare, I was pretty riveted by that. I enjoyed that quite a bit. But these past 2 campaigns have been.
Did you play Call of Duty World War II, the one that came out like 2-3 years ago?
I did, yeah, and I thought that was actually not bad. Yeah,
so I can't really compare the two.
That one is definitely more it almost feels like Band of Brothers, the game. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That it's still like got the problems of going back to World War II, but I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I just feel the past 2 years, these Call of Duty campaigns have, maybe there's not as much focus going into them because really the focus is multiplayer and specifically Warzone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I haven't played the multiplayer yet of this or the zombie mode, but I guess I'll give it a go.
Yeah, so to be clear, we've just played let's say like 3 hours of the campaign, if that.
And I think we only have about an hour or so left.
Yeah,
apparently
it's not long.
Short. Yeah.
But yeah, obviously if you're looking to buy Call of Duty, it does come with, the traditional multiplayer and zombies. So there is a lot of content in this package. So if if you're not worried about the campaign, well, that's fine. I guess you've got lots of other things to spend your time with.
I always like a Call of Duty campaign.
I'm in that same camp as well. I enjoy the 5 to 6 hour, the set pieces and just what the things
it's
they
a
make
roller
you do.
coaster ride for 6 hours. Yeah, where you occasionally shooting things. So it's a good time. It's just this one's not. I don't think it's a great time. I definitely don't think this is a stellar campaign for the series. So so far, unless something drastic changes in the final moments, which I don't expect, it's just been very up and down. Yeah.
It looks good though. I'll give it that.
It looks very good. The mission after this opening one where you do the jump into, I can't even remember. Oh, it is France. It's Normandy. You jump from the plane and you land and everything's on fire and it's dark. It looks stunning. And also this game does a really good job of transitioning between cutscenes and gameplay. It's almost uncanny how quickly they do it. Like in that Normandy mission, you jump from a plane and you land in water. And it's like this
it's cinematic
almost,
and then
the cinematic and next thing it's gameplay, and it's like, whoa, when did that switch over? Because the cinematics are cinematics, they 30 FPS pre-rendered things but it's pretty great, pretty good.
Cool. It's Vanguard.
Yeah, I will say though, surprised at how well the first-person platforming works.
Oh yeah. It just works.
Did not expect it to feel that smooth, but it feels pretty great. As soon as I was running around as Petrov on the roofs, I was like, man,
this is Mirror's Edge.
I want to play Mirror's Edge again. Yeah, it felt
I had the same
really
thought
good.
as well. Funny how Mirror's Edge almost that was the defining game on parkour. There's a lot of things followed that sort of formula, from Dishonored to Dying Light to there's a lot of games that give you this, let you do parkour or
even
platforming.
This year, Deathloop, very good.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good first-person parkour. Yeah. Also, Laura Bailey, great voice actress. I think her Russian accent is awful.
Is that Laura Bailey? I did not know that.
I'm pretty sure it's Laura Bailey. Yeah.
Amazing.
It's the last I've played Metro and Metro Exodus, and those are notorious for just awful Russian accents, and this is on par of that.
Amazing.
Yeah, Laura Bailey is Polina Petrov. Yeah, you can even kind of see it looks like the character's kind of based on her in terms of looks, but yeah, she's a great voice actress. I just think this Russian accent
it doesn't work.
Bad. Yeah. Also, not given the best lines as Polina. She's just I kill things, and that's
no. I think the dialogue in this game is
it's very
it's
one note, and not a huge fan of it.
No.
But anyway, that is Call of Duty Vanguard. We'll probably touch in. I do want to play the multiplayer, especially the.
I played the beta and I enjoyed the beta.
Yeah, I remember you enjoyed. I want to try those I think it's 2v2 or 3v3 modes.
Does it
gun game or whatever it is? Yeah, those are kind of fun. So, and apparently zombies is completely new. It's a very different type of zombies. So
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Call of Duty Vanguard. That's
Call
out now.
of Duty.
Pretty
Cool.
sure it will still sell like ridiculously well.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't think Activision's got much to worry about. So yeah.
I do wonder though at what point, I don't know. It feels like that franchise as a whole just needs like a shake up. Don't know when or if it will happen, but yeah. Cool. Should we get to some game releases?
Yes, we should do that.
November.
Let me pull that up.
On our way to December. It's kind of terrifying. Where did the year
So we're looking
go?
at game releases from November 13th up until November 19th.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just find myself here. November 13th until the 19th. Okay. Yeah, actually, some kind of big ones here. Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. This is Medal of Honor coming back as a VR game. It's coming to Oculus Quest on November 15th.
Mm-hmm.
Got Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. Chapter 1 of
Sherlock,
what?
Sherlock Holmes.
This is only on new consoles. Interesting.
No.
PC, PS5, and Xbox Series. Okay. We've got a game called Moncage coming to PC, iOS, and Android November 16th.
Mm-hmm.
The Last Stand Aftermath, PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series. Strange that it's on PS4 and not Xbox One.
Yeah.
Okay. November 16th. Undungeon. Undungeon.
What's the opposite of a dungeon? An undungeon.
PC and Xbox One, November 8th. Exo 1, PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series, November 18th. Blood Rain. Goodness. Oh my god. Yeah. Blood Rain revamped. Blood Rain 2 revamped. I assume these are remasters of Blood Rain.
No, they're revamps.
They're revamps. Revamp because it's
vampires.
Hate it.
Oh, give that copyright a raise.
Xbox One and Switch, November 18th. Battlefield 2042. So this is confusing because it is kind of like out. Like you can play it early if you bought it, or if you're on the 10-hour trial, you can like play it now. But that's out officially November 19th, so that's Friday. And then also Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, the remakes of Gen 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Gen something.
I think it's Gen 3. I'm keen to play these because the chibi art style does it for me. I never played these as a kid, and everyone says Diamond and Pearl are pretty great Pokemon. So
where do we find the time?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
You've just received Shin Megami Tensei, which I don't imagine that's a short game.
No. And I'm still trying to make my way through Metroid Dread every now and then.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so, yeah.
At least Metroid Dread's not long. It's like a 8 to 10
Where is the time? There's also a rumor, although I think it's been kind of like debunked by now, but it was pretty strong during the week, that Microsoft might launch Halo Infinite's multiplayer on November 15th with the 20th anniversary of the console. That would be cool. I would love to play some Halo Infinite multiplayer this week, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. Don't know.
Cool. So that's releases. We are pretty much like winding down the big releases for the year. I mean, the two big ones left are like Halo Infinite and Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker in December.
Yeah. And some bits and pieces. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Geez, December's super short. The Gunk.
Oh, I'm keen for that. That's made by the same people who do SteamWorld.
I know. My goodness.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Should we move on to gaming news?
Yup.
Gaming news. What should we start with? I guess we alluded to this earlier, but GTA, the trilogy, the definitive edition.
Not being a good time. Well,
it's not had a great launch.
Yeah, it's not had a great launch.
Firstly, I think you still can't play the game on PC. So Rockstar took down like the ability to buy the game on PC, and people who have bought the game can't actually launch it because they are removing some files that shouldn't be there. And it turns out those files are potentially music that they lost license to a while back, and also controversially that hot coffee thing.
This is the minigame, yeah.
Which is fucking bizarre considering Rockstar paid 20 million in fines for including that the very first time, and they somehow did not take it out.
Yeah.
That just blows my fucking mind. Like, I cannot believe that.
It's a very expensive mistake to repeat.
I just like, how do you accidentally keep that in? It just makes no sense to me. So
yeah.
Yeah, that's been unplayable since launch, which is crazy.
And not only that, if you want, you're like, oh, I don't want the remaster, I'm just going to go buy the original. Those have been delisted, if I'm not mistaken, or in the process of being delisted. So, yeah, not a good time for Rockstar at the moment.
And it's not just on PC that there's issues. There's performance issues across all consoles, bugs, progression bugs, crashes, just a real bad time all around. There's a tweet here in this Eurogamer article where one user says the game freezes in San Andreas on Xbox Series X every time he starts a mission checkpoints. So that save is basically fucked.
Nice.
Yeah, and people are just requesting refunds. Apparently, performance on Switch is terrible. Like, it just chugs on Switch.
The 15 to 20 minutes I've played of GTA 3 was fine.
Okay.
But I mean, I haven't done anything hectic. I haven't blown things up or had a lot of action happening on the screen yet. So that remains to be seen, I guess.
What a wild time that, like, around, a few weeks to the year, this time last year, we were going through the
same
Cyberpunk 2077 debacle, and this year turns out to be a re-release of 3 of the most influential open world games ever.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how Rockstar, like, put this out, where they just, like, really pushed by the anniversary timing, you know? Like, I don't get it. It just makes
it's funny you mentioned Cyberpunk. I think I saw a tweet or something this morning of, so Twitter was a mistake because whatever you tweet lives there forever. I think it is a tweet from a Take-Two boss or an executive basically criticizing Cyberpunk and CD Projekt, saying like, you shouldn't release a game, you shouldn't rush to release a game or whatever it was, but that is the context, and people are now like, have you seen your trilogy, dude?
My goodness. Tweets that never aged well. It seems to always happen. Like, always happen. I don't understand this. And you know what makes me sad about this is that they were going to use this is what Take-Two said. I don't know if it's entirely true, but they were going to use the performance of this remaster to determine whether they worked on a Red Dead Redemption remaster. And my thinking is that you don't start work on a project like this based on the sales. They've probably started on that already. But whether it ever sees the light of day after this nonsense, whether people want to see it see the light of day, because that game is really good and you can still play it, backwards compatible
Xbox
pretty easily. So, like, do you want a broken ass version of that? So,
don't know. I can't say that I do personally.
me neither.
Oh goodness, I'm getting so many Apple ads. Why? I'm not even looking at Apple Watch.
It's because we were talking about iPods earlier. That's why.
They're listening to us.
They're listening.
What is next?
Let's work through this duo of Xbox news. I think.
Okay, sweet.
This asshole Alessandro Barbosa wrote this article on GameSpot.
Oh, wrong one. Which one am I looking at?
The Xbox app one.
The Windows Store. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, if you've ever bought games from the Windows Store, God bless you, or used the Xbox Game Pass app on PC, you'll know that Microsoft gets real restrictive over sometimes, especially from the Windows Store where you can install apps. It's not so much of an issue on the Xbox Game Pass app, but they like heavily restrict your access to those files because they considered, universal Windows platform games or whatever the fuck. So they finally are changing that. There's a new update that is rolling out to Xbox Insiders on Windows 11 soon that will essentially turn both the Windows Store and the Xbox app into more like Steam competitors. You will be able to choose where you want to install the games. You can choose in which folders you want to install the games. You will have full access to those files. And with that comes support for mods, because now that you have access to those files, you can inject mods into games you grabbing off Game Pass. And the Xbox app will also allow you to manage mods from the app itself. Games that support apps or that support mods that it sees will let you just like manage them from the Xbox app directly, which is pretty great.
Nice.
Not sure why it took this long for this to happen, because the Windows Store has been a problem for years now. But thank goodness. I guess if Microsoft is getting more and more and more serious about PC gaming, they were eventually going to get to this point.
They'd have to do it.
Yeah, it's great to see. Not sure when this is out, fully to everyone, but I assume insiders will be testing this around the time that Halo Infinite launches. So I would, guess somewhere after then it will come out to everyone. So that's great.
Cool. Huzzah. Do you want to keep with the Xbox theme?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about this $10,000 Xbox Series X console?
I don't know much about it other than Xbox and Gucci have partnered up to release a Xbox Series X Gucci console, which costs a cool $10,000.
We
Gucci gang. If you're looking at the video feed, you can see it. It is a patent Xbox Series X. And does it come with this big ass carry case? I sincerely hope so.
It looks awful.
Awful.
Maybe I just don't understand Gucci design, but it looks awful.
Is this just meant to tie in with the upcoming Gucci film, or just the brand? Like, I don't know.
Your guess is as good as mine. That bag, that whole Xbox thing on the front just looks like someone did that in paint. Let's be honest. It looks terrible.
I don't know much about...
The controller's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I mean, even that, it's the default controller with 2 straps on it. It looks like.
And then you've got the Gucci patterning on the Series X
on the
as well.
Series X. Yeah, so look, I don't know the Gucci brand that well, but I'm like, are those straps like iconic in some way? I assume so, but for $10,000, it's like, how much is an Xbox Series X?
Like $500.
$500. Okay, so you're paying an extra $9,500 for the branding and the bag. So
and
I'm like,
extra controller.
And an extra controller. Is this bag itself worth $9,000?
But it shouldn't be, because that Xbox branding on it looks so awful. It's just so bad.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's only 100 being created, and this is definitely one of those things like, I have enough money to buy this, so I will, to show off type of thing. Like, no normal person is buying this shit.
And you know what? It's funny because people will buy this and they will be collector's items, and they probably will be worth a lot more money one day.
Probably.
This upsets me.
It's just, yeah.
You could buy one Gucci Gang Xbox or 20 just regular Xbox Series X's. I mean, I don't know. Choice is yours.
I wonder how bad the demand for an Xbox Series X is, that maybe someone will actually consider this just because they can't get a normal.
Oh no, come on. That's pushing it. Holy hell. You have to really have a lot of money to just burn through to consider.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, if you've got the money to burn, you already probably just bought a secondhand one on like eBay or something.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of other consoles which are hard to find. The Playdate has been delayed to early 2022.
This is a bit of a bummer. I have a pre-order for a Playdate in, and I got this email. Basically, the first 2 batches were meant to ship this year, but the creators, Panic, did their first sample run of like 5,000 units, and got them into the studio and discovered that they weren't up to the standard that they were expecting. Essentially, the battery they had chosen wasn't going to support the multiple day battery life that they had promised.
Hectic.
And instead of just shipping that out to customers, they scrapped all 5,000 of those, found a replacement battery part, and put in a new order at their factories, which is the biggest reason for the delay.
Yeah.
Other reasons, obviously, are just the semiconductor shortage. It's causing havoc for the development of this thing. They had to redesign the main board to work around component shortages because there was one component that wouldn't be in stock for the next 3 years, apparently. So that was just not going to work. Essentially the orders have been delayed to early 2022. And obviously that's pushed back all orders depending on what batch you got into. So, yeah.
So
I mean, I respect them for not just shipping that shit out with a bad battery. So
And for those of you who have no idea what the hell a Playdate is, it's this modern day console which is very reminiscent of an old school Game Boy, like literally the black and white Game Boy, but it's got a crank on the side and it has a whole lot of games being made by some really great devs.
Developers all over the world, and it's the games are going to be like airdropped to the console essentially during some seasons. So it's cool. I'm keen for it because it just looks like a really fun, interesting toy.
Yeah, it's like a different retro-looking console, and aesthetically, it looks really nice. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, aesthetically, it's a lovely-looking console, and I think I'm keen to see what interesting games people will make with this little crank thing. So,
best believe there will be a fishing game, at least one of them.
Yeah, at least. So I think in the first season, there's 2 new games every week.
Okay.
So yeah. And then there's also like a games editor that launches with it, so you can make your own games as well.
Damn.
So, yeah.
Damn, Daniel.
Pretty cool.
And then last few pieces of news. Quantic Dreams, makers of iconic hits like Jason Simulator, Jason Call-Out Game.
Press X to Jason.
Well, Quantic Dreams, people who made Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and what's the last one called? The recent one? Detroit.
Detroit.
They're
Too Human or something. No.
Yeah. No, I think not Detroit. Maybe.
It was Detroit, but I don't know this. I've forgotten the some.
Okay.
Mankind Divided? No.
Nope. Okay. Their next game is reportedly
Become
called
Human.
Become Human. Okay. Their next game is reportedly called Star Wars Eclipse. So are we pushing a Push X to Obi-Wan game? Only time will tell.
I don't know. So this was Quantic Dream making a Star Wars game was rumored a few weeks back, and now Jeff Grubb has basically said that it's going to show up somewhere soon. I would assume Game Awards. And called Star Wars Eclipse. Apparently, will be set during the High Republic era, which is a new era of Star Wars that Disney launched like a year or two ago. That has mostly only been explored through books and comics.
Nice.
So it's a more medieval take on Star Wars, like a time in the Republic when it was like that sort of vibe. You know what I mean? So yeah, Jeff Grubb says it will be announced before the end of the year. So
Cool.
It takes place around 200 years before the events of the Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, and 800 years after the fall of the Old Republic. So it's between your Old Republic games and your actual films. So yeah.
Damn, Daniel. So yeah, I'm quite keen to see what that shapes up to be.
Yeah.
And then last piece of news. Rainbow Six Extraction will be $40 and comes with free buddy passes. This is
I totally forgot this game existed.
Yeah, because I think it was pushed out. Sangon has an official release date of January. So it's around the corner. It's January 20th, 2022. And yeah, it seems to be just a co-op shooter. Survive, or PvE, I guess, is the correct term to go with there. But what's funny is that when the first trailer came out, I thought it was a zombie game, but it turns out it's more Alien-esque.
Yeah, it's like gooey aliens. It's strange. So I think initially it was going to be released as a $60 game, and there was a bit of pushback on that because a lot of people saw this as sort of like an expansion to Rainbow Six, not necessarily a whole brand new game. So yeah, $40 seems like probably a better price point.
And with 2 buddy passes, which is pretty neat.
The buddy pass is cool. It essentially lets two of your friends play the game for 14 days for free, and if they buy the game, their progression will carry over.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
That's neat.
Yeah, that's neat. I don't know. It doesn't. I watch the gameplay and it doesn't really spur any strong feelings up in me. So
yeah, a game we do want to play though. This Elden Ring preview, which keeps getting served to me. Go away! Stop it!
I want it. I really want it.
I can't believe we didn't get access to the preview weekend. I'm so upset.
I don't even think I applied. I totally forgot about it.
No, I applied, but it's also one of those things of like I just want to play the game when it comes out.
Yeah,
so,
same. I'm. It's close enough. If it was like a year away, I'd be salivating at the chance to play this. But it's like, what, not even 3 months away? So I can wait.
So close. But
so close.
Yeah, that's gaming news this week.
That is gaming news. So I guess we can move on to questions. If you have got a question for us, you can email us, checkpointchatpodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on social media at Checkpoint on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, everywhere. And you can message us at any time and have your question read out on the show if we think it's a cool question or a cool comment or just an observation.
Well, we have a question from Best_Bash. He says,
"Ooh,
this is the world's shortest question." He just says, "The answer to life and the universe?"
42.
That's exactly what I was going to say. 42. Thanks for listening to Checkpoint Chat. Bye.
Goodness. I guess. Where did that even come from? The whole 42 thing. Do you remember?
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay.
It's a whole commentary of like something. The answer to life in the universe is 42.
Interesting. I'd love to know why. Like, why isn't it 69?
Why isn't it just nice?
Exactly.
What's the answer to life universe
is nice. Yeah.
It's just nice. I can't really comment further than that. That seems to be the answer. Somebody sat and calculated it. They went to those green boards or white boards, put in some very complicated equations, and that is the number that was spat out. Later confirmed by AI, because then we had computers and,
Interesting.
I feel like I've just destroyed your brain with what happened.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's all gone. I'm sorry.
My goodness.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, not really. Not really. My brain just decided not to work there for a while.
This is I'm going to go on record and say this is the shortest official episode we've recorded. Not one of those.
Oh, wait, so there's no more questions?
There's no more. That's it.
Oh, okay. So you can email us, checkpointchatpodcast@gmail.com. You can ask us nice questions.
I don't know. Get those questions ready for next week, the nice episode.
Well, no, there is no episode
Surprise,
next week.
That was a clever segue.
So yeah, we'll be taking a break next week purely because I will not be here. I will be in the land of the mountain. Not because
it's a nice episode.
No,
it's not related.
No. Yeah, I will be in Cape Town and unable to record a podcast. And because I leave so early in the week, there's no real time to record.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd be recording in 2 days from now.
Are you going on Wednesday?
Yeah, I'm going on Wednesday.
In the evening?
Yeah.
At 6?
Yeah.
You might be in the same flight?
No.
Oh, boo.
I think it's at 6 or 7, the flight.
You might be in the same flight as my sister, because she's currently in Joburg going back to Cape Town on Wednesday.
What airline is she flying?
No idea.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think the flight's at 7 or so. Yeah.
I wish I got into specifics. Is your flight at 5:55? Yeah. Flight number JE135. Yeah. Wow.
Or if I see her, I'll definitely say hi.
Rugby tackler. Hey, it's me.
We'll do sprints in the airport.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Just do some fitness.
Did your sister come up for
graduation?
The party. Oh, nice. That's
but
cool.
Yeah, I suppose so. We're missing next week, and then going into December, we will probably do 1 or 2 regular episodes. But because we're getting into the end of the year, and we obviously want a little break ourselves, we will probably do how we always do. We'll record some lifetime episodes, which will, I'm sure, definitely include our Game of the Year episode, and maybe a sprinkling of one or two other things. But sure, we're getting to that end of the year period. So,
I think the last big one, that necessitates a live episode is like the Game Awards, like just to break down stuff after that.
Our predictions. Always a good time.
And then also just like predictions for 2022, like games we're excited about, stuff like that. So
Breath of the Wild 2, that's the episode. Listen to me, Nintendo.
Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild 2 in the same year.
My goodness. Don't do that to me. Yeah. Cool.
Awesome.
That's episode...
thank you for this slightly brief episode of Checkpoint Chat, episode 168. As always, thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week. Well, next week.
We'll see you next time.
Whatever.
Yeah, there
it's vague.
Cool.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.